Greetings and welcome back to ZQ1 Plays. I'm so glad that you guys have joined me tonight, and what I'm going to be showing you is maybe the most important tutorial that I could share with you about The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, and that is how item duplication, I always want to say that word wrong, duplication, how item duplication works, and how you can very quickly duplicate your weapons and your materials. Let's jump right into it today. Alright, so as always, thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you will consider giving me a subscription if you have not already. I'm pushing 350 subs, and that is just incredible, mind-blowing. So excited about the future of that possibility. Alright, so please throw a sub my way if you're watching this video and if it helps you out. Alright, so let's talk about what the nature of this video is going to be. Okay, so the first section of the video is going to be the two methods, very generally, right? And then the second part of this video is going to be like the specifics of what if you don't have the thunder armor, or what if the rubber armor, what if you don't have like this certain piece that you need to make the duplication happen. I will be teaching you step by step how to do those things, but first, for those who already have all the items that they need, let's jump right into method one, which is item or weapon duplication. The first thing you're going to need on your checklist is Link's house unlocked and some weapon racks available. As you can see, I already have some here, and I also have some bow racks, and shield racks are downstairs, which I'll show you at another time. Okay, so that's the first thing, Link's house open. The next thing you're going to need are shock emitters, which I think I might, okay, I have 3. I'm almost out. But you're going to need one of those, and so go ahead and drop it on the floor whenever you're ready to duplicate. You're going to need a shock emitter. And then thirdly, and this could be the most important part, you're going to need the rubber armor set. So you go to your armor, you can arrange it by type or by body part. If you do it by set, then you can equip the rubber armor. I've dyed mine yellow. Doesn't that look so cool? And what you're going to do then is, once you have your rubber armor equipped, go ahead and equip the weapon that you want to duplicate. In my case, there's none of these that I'm like super attached to, so I'm actually going to duplicate my light scale trident, which is like one of the most important weapons in the game. Super good. So I'm going to pick it up first, if it'll let me. There we go. Switch to it. There it is. And with it equipped and my rubber armor equipped, I'm going to use Ultra Hand, and I'm going to move my shock emitter, flip it upside down so that you can stand right on that spike, and I'm going to set it in front of the pedestal that I want to use to duplicate. Okay? So there it is. And now what I'll do is I will use my weapon to attack the shock and turn it on. And just so you know, in case you didn't know this already, using a weapon to turn on a Zonai device does not use durability. So I got a fresh light scale trident here. When I use it to turn it on, it's still fresh. You can tell by that little sparkle in the corner. Okay. So now that I have the shock emitter on and I have the weapon equipped that I want to use, what you need to be doing is actually holding the weapon. It can't be on your back like this. It has to be actually in your hands, which you can do by pressing Y once. Now you're holding it. Then you'll stand directly on the electricity and make sure the A button says display. And then what you're going to do is you're going to go into your armor sets, take off one piece of the rubber helm, which is going to not make you lightning proof. All right? And when you take it off, then you're going to press B to get out of the menu and immediately start spamming A. If done correctly, one light scale trident will be deposited on the rack in front of you, and one will fly off behind you. All right, so let's see if I can do it here. First try. Almost, but I didn't quite do it. Okay, but it's really simple to reset if you don't. So just pick it up. It's already in my hands. Put my helmet back on. Stand back on the lightning. And now I'm going to take my helmet off and do the same exact thing. And there it is right there for you folks. You can tell I got shocked right afterwards. But I've got one light scale trident on the rack and one here on the floor. So what I'm going to do is turn this off first. And then I'm going to pick up this light scale, get it in my inventory. And I'm actually holding it, right? And the other one is on the rack. And so there we go. Duplication has worked. And now I have 2 copies of the light scale trident. Super cool, right? All right, and there we go. As you can see, I've done it one more time. I have one light scale trident on the floor and one back in the rack. I'm going to pick this one up and put it in my inventory. Now I'm holding it. Now I'm going to pick a bow that I want to duplicate, which I think my bow slots might be full. They are indeed. So let's kick out this little Lizal bow because it's pretty lame. Uh-oh. I dropped the sledge instead. Okay. Kick out this Lizal bow. And I'm going to pick up one of these that I want to duplicate. I have plenty of those great eagle bows, and so I'm going to actually duplicate this Savage Lionel bow, which is really doing good. You can see I already have a few of them. It's a 5-shot bow. Super cool. So once again, holding it, what I'm going to do is put on my full armor set, move the electricity guy over here, and let him shock me in front of the bow stand. And just like it worked for the other one, it will work for this one as well. Just once again, make sure you're holding your bow as you see here. Tap ZR once to do that. Make sure the A says display. Take off your helmet and then spam B as you exit the menu, or spam A as you exit the menu. There it is. One Lionel bow on the ground over here and one on the wall. All right, so the second type of duplication is called material duplication, or you might even call it like bow duplication. You use your bow to duplicate materials. So basically you'll use your bow to attach like a 5-shot bow with any material. It could be a diamond, could be a fruit, could be anything. And what it does when you use a 5-shot bow is it attaches one to every arrow that shoots out of that. And so for our benefit, we're going to use that as a glitch to make them stick in a certain wall so that we can gather 5, but only have used up 1 in our inventory. Now, specifically, how you do this is by using like load data, and that's like from specifically like places where the world loads in at a different rate than it does in others. And if you haven't already guessed it, yes, we're heading towards a chasm because we're going to use the load data that happens between the surface world and the depths. All right, so here we are on the map, and I'm going to go over this more at the end. Tobias Hollow. We're going to go down Tobias Hollow Chasm. All right, and so what you're going to do is go down here first, and you need to go until you start to see smoke gathering on the floor, smoke or steam or whatever it may be. You'll know it because it's kind of like the sign that you're going into the depths, right? So I'm riding my little skateboard here, but you can even just float down this passage if you want to. All right. Oh, I'm about to fall, I think. I should be right over this little hill here. All right. So I'm going to get off my skateboard that's about to break, and you'll see the smoke gather around my feet. Do-do-do-do. There you go. We are now in the correct spot. Okay. So here's what you're going to need for this. Once you're into Bio's chasm here, and you're in this little spot, you're going to be shooting your arrows up over that hill. And what you need is preferably a 5-shot bow, which you can see by the X5, which is right above my bow's damage. You can also use a 3-shot bow, although, like I said, 5 for every 1 we use versus 3 for every 1 we use. 5 is just a better rate, okay? And so I have this 5-shot bow, and then what I'm going to do is draw it and aim over this hill, again, making sure that the fog is present. Then I'll use my up on the D-pad and attach whatever material that I want to duplicate. I will say it does not duplicate Zonai devices, so don't try that. But let's say golden apples, right? I'm going to shoot them upwards a little bit, and you'll see them kind of stick in the wall. See? Like that? That means you've just given yourself 5 apples, but you can see only 1 was depleted for my inventory. Let's go with a more likely example, like Lionel saber horns. These things are very worthwhile, right? Now that happens, it just happened right there, that happens sometimes. Sometimes these items crowd together. You'll see it especially with these like mace horns. They crowd together in a way that's going to make it where some of them hit each other and break on impact. And that's okay. You just kind of have to cut your losses. As long as you're doing 1 for 1 or 2 for 1, like you're at least not losing anything, right? I'm trying a Frox Fang now. You want to spread them out too, because if I were to shoot the Frox Fang at, say, the apples, it would break the Frox Fangs. They wouldn't even have a place to stick in. Now you can see the Fang there. It didn't even create a double. All right, now as I move up, they all fall out of the sky. And then as you can see here are the copies of the items that you just duplicated. All right, and so now let's go back and look at my inventory. Yeah, I didn't really duplicate the blue-white frog thing. I just kind of got 1 copy back. Float down here again. Look at my inventory. There is 10 now of those saber horns instead of what I believe was maybe 8 or something like that before. The apples have obviously gone up to 15 from 12. There's plenty of other items that you can do this with. Usually anything that's like super breakable, like eggs, milk, that kind of stuff, it's going to break on impacts a lot of the time. So be careful with those type of items. But any of these materials, as long as they're not too massive, they're going to duplicate really, really well. So you can tell I've done silverbill goblin horns a little bit, but even like a gleeok horn, these things will duplicate at least 2 of them, right? So as long as you're getting 2 for 1, oh, that one got all 5. Look at that. So I'm going to get a bunch of gleeok horns. Stalnox horn, that's one that a lot of people like to use for short amounts of time in combat before it breaks. Any of these, you know, even dragon horns. As you can see, I've already duplicated those. I think I've got a light dragon horn. There he is. Okay, so the light dragon horn will move over here. Yep, and I'm going to actually do now Nadra's Claw, because I think I have not duplicated that one yet. And now look at these. These glow just like they do if you find them on the ground. And now they're all going to fall, and it's like a treasure trove of some of the best materials in the game. This is how you do it. It's super simple to do, and I'm going to go through all the details of exactly how to find this place and how to get yourself a Savage Lionel bow so that you're ready to do this trick. Now, if you remember, there's 3 things that you need in order to duplicate weapons. The first one was Link's house. The second one was the shock emitter, and the third was the rubber armor set. So I'm going to go through the locations for all of those things. First up is Link's house. What you need to do is make your way to Terrytown, which is just to the east of where you start at Lookout Landing. So it's far to the east. So from Lookout Landing, you're going to head east, and it's kind of between where the Gorons are at Death Mountain and the Zora are at Zora's Domain. So right between those areas is a place called Akala. Head to the Akala area, and in the middle you'll see this large lake, and in the middle of that lake is Terrytown. You'll remember Terrytown if you played Breath of the Wild. It was a famous side quest from that game. Once you get to Terrytown, this area right over here, in I guess that would be the west of town, is where Hudson and his wife live. And basically what you're going to need to do to open up Link's house is work with them as they work with their daughter, who is preparing to leave Terrytown and head for the Gerudo side of the map. And so Ronson is here most of the time. Hudson is here part of the time. Sometimes he's down here at the bottom of this lift working at the construction site down there. All right, and so find Hudson and Ronson and their daughter and work through their side quest. If you need more information on that, you can look it up really easily. The side quest is really not that confusing. Just follow it out, and then they'll offer to build you your own house, and you take them up on the offer, and you'll unlock Link's house. All right, while we're talking about duplicating weapons, the second thing you're going to need is, of course, the shock emitter. So from Lookout Landing, where you're going to have to go to find a shock emitter, at least from what I've been able to find, I haven't unlocked all of the gachapon machines yet, but the one that I did find that have shock emitters is up north of the Korok Forest. So the quickest way would probably be go towards the Goron area, and then around the forest to the back side over here, use the Typhlo Runes Skyview Tower, and after you springboard off of that, head to the sky, and just next to that tower is going to be a gachapon machine that has the shock emitter in it, and so just play the roulette until you get some shock emitters. That's an easy way to gather those. Now, finally, let's talk rubber armor in order to get the the weapon duplication going, okay? So we're going to work from the inside out, like from Lookout Landing out to the outskirts of the map, okay? So the first piece of rubber armor that we need is straight south of Lookout Landing. You'll come to an area called Whistling Hill. There's also a shrine here called the Tinnatin, I think is what it's called. Yeah, Tinnatin Shrine. And what we're going to do is straight from that shrine, head north to the Whistling Hill Cave. Inside this cave, follow the path, and you will find the rubber armor. It's not too difficult to find on your own. If you need more information, just search Whistling Hill Cave on any website. You'll probably be able to find it. The next part is the rubber helm, which from Lookout Landing is to the south in the Farron region. This is the Poplar Foothills Skyview Tower. From this tower, we're going to fly straight to the south and a little bit to the east to this area called the Sarjan, something like that, woods. Okay. And this is the cave we're going for here, the Sarjan Woods Cave. All right, I'm going to put a green marker on it. You guys can kind of see the way. This little bend in the river is pretty remarkable. You guys can really see it from the map, and it's pretty easy to navigate to. There's some woods over there. There's some cliff area over here, and this is the cave right here, I believe. And it's normally, I think when you first come here, there's going to be like wood over it that you have to chop through. But then once you're in, and it's like a boating one. You can make your way, make a little raft and float down it, and find your rubber helm here in this cave at, let's see, Sarjan Woods. the last piece is the rubber tights, and they are here in Horon Lagoon, which is all the way on the east side of the map. Again, Lookout Landing's a long way away. The best way to get here is if you have done Zora's Domain, probably hit this Skyview Tower here and then float across to it. It took me a long time to do it on foot, but here I am up at the shrine. I'm going to float down to you and show you the cave, because you have to enter from the top, and then once you get inside the cave, it's another puzzle that's not too difficult at all, and once you solve it, you got yourself the rubber tights, and you now have your full rubber suit of armor, and you're ready to duplicate all of your weapons. I've got a storm going on my screen, so I can barely see what's going on, but you can see there's a top of a rock that's kind of open. You're going to float into the middle, and then once you land in the middle, here you are in the Horon Lagoon Cave, and boom, this is where you're going to find it. I think you got to follow the cave that direction, and eventually you'll come to the rubber tights. This side of the tutorial that is going to give you the details about how to duplicate materials is slightly more complicated, but it requires far fewer steps. So the first step is we have to unlock Tobias Hollow, which maybe you've already gone there and you've noticed it's locked, and so here is how you do that. And then of course the second step is to get yourself a good Lionel bow that you can use to duplicate items. And so for the first step, what we're going to do is go to that same Poplar Hills Foot Tower that we went to earlier to find some rubber armor. Once you hit the Poplar Foothills Tower, then go up into the air and float to your east and try to make it to this this floating island. However, if you need to go to this floating island from the other Skyview Tower down here in the, let's see, that's the Rabella Wetlands, either one of these areas will work. So directly to the east or directly to the north of this storm, because this is where we're heading in order to unlock Tobias Hollow. Now, how exactly we're going to do this is a little bit of a cheat. It's not really like actually a code cheat, but basically what I want you to do is zoom in on your map south of the Foothills Tower, okay? And you need to place an emblem right here, okay? Literally right here. It's where this curved ridge kind of clashes with this bottom curved ridge right at the little crux right there. We're going to drop a star, stamp, whatever you want it to be, okay? And then when we're flying through the air, that is exactly where the shrine is. So we're going to try to fly up above this storm and then drop down right on that star, okay? I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. What I do is I have a device that is saved in my auto build, but you can build it from scratch if you have 2 fans and a steering stick, and it's a flying machine that will allow you to easily fly up and over the storm. Now theoretically one of these airplane things could do it too, although you're going to need some battery juice to get there. So what I would recommend is using a flying machine like this, and then you're also going to need to either use a battery or a large Zonai charge if you have it. Wait till your battery gets almost empty, and then use one large Zonai charge, and that will completely recharge your battery, and then you'll be able to keep flying, okay? So here's the route. We're going to go directly toward the storm, up and over, and when we see the star, we will dive down directly on top of the star, and you will land right near the shrine, okay? So let's see if we can do this. These machines, this one I like to call the Batwing, but there are other ones like it out there, like there's like a hover bike and different things. So they really, really do a great job of kind of letting you have free mobility. Another thing to make sure is on your map, make sure that it's on the land version of the map, okay? Because then you can see that star and you can know exactly where you're heading, okay? If it's on the sky version, you're not going to be able to see the star. And then in terms of navigation, just make sure you're going plenty high to get over that storm that you see directly in front of Link right now. Alright, my battery's getting low, and so I paused it. I'm going to use a charge here before it runs out completely. Using the large charge will completely restore your battery and give you just a little time of free use. Now you can see I now have 0 visibility, and that's because of the storm that we're in. So I'm going to hover right over this star and then release, okay? Now what I'm going to do is pull out my paraglider and try to get exactly over the star. Oh, remove any lightning stuff because you don't want to get shocked. All right, and now we're ready to float right onto the star. Now that I'm over it, I'm going to use my R button and dive and try to head straight down. You'll see the Dragon Head Island appear, and then you'll land right next to the shrine. Now, obviously, I have the no fall damage from my suit here. You're probably going to want to use your paraglider and not just fall to your death there, okay? But once you land at the shrine, activate it. That way you have a fast travel point. And then here, there will be a door that requires you to have 10 hearts in order to open. So there is a little bit of a bar of entry here. But once you open this 10-heart door, the world is your oyster in terms of material hunting, because now you can duplicate items by using this mask off this pedestal. Take the mask, create a flying machine here with the mask, all right? And then fly the mask that you pulled off that pedestal straight ahead off of this ledge and land where you've already kind of marked on your map Tabayo's Hollow. Once you land there with the mask, the hollow will open and you'll be able to head down into the cave just like you saw me do earlier in this video. So now let's talk about how to get a good Lionel bow. I'm about to reveal a secret that probably many of you did not know, all right? And so what you're going to do is once, you can find a Lionel bow on your own. I'm just going to leave that up to you. The best thing that you can do is go to the depths and hunt around for Lionels. If you really need to, you can look up online where Lionels are and find a Lionel. The thing is, even if you find a Lionel bow, it's probably not going to be a 5-shot like mine is. And so here's how you work that. You can take a mighty Lionel bow, or even better, a savage Lionel bow, which has higher damage, with a ×3 mark, which is their natural setting, and you can bring it here, and there's a way to upgrade these. And a lot of people don't know about this little trick. This is actually not a glitch or a cheat. This is built into the game, and I think it's amazing. So first of all, equip the Lionel bow that you want to upgrade. I'm going to do the savage one first, okay? And what I'm going to do is float down this hill. It also helps here to have a blunt weapon so you can break apart some of these rocks that you're going to see here in a second. And I guess I should show you where I am. Okay, this is north of Death Mountain, directly north of Death Mountain. Past the lizards, there's a little bitty shrine called Sibajitak Shrine. I don't even know why I attempt some of these names. And then if you go north of that shrine through this little archway, here's where a lot of these enemies are, although any of these Octorok enemies will work, okay? So what you're going to do is head down the hill here, crack open these rocks, make sure they don't attack you while you're trying to upgrade your item. Okay, and then what we're going to do is feed our item that we want to duplicate to the Octorok. He will then upgrade it and spit it back at us. Now these bows actually will hurt if they hit you, so be careful when he spits it back at you that you do not get hit by the bow that you're upgrading. Okay, all right, here we go. So what I'm going to do is have my bow ready and walk about halfway from where I am right now, and then I'm going to quickly hold R2, press right on the D-pad, and then press X to drop my bow. When I do, you'll see him slurp it up, and then he'll chew it, and that will upgrade it. All right, so check this out. You think I'm making this up, but I'm not. Okay, drop it, and here he's going to suck it up. There he's going to chew it. The sparkle means it's been upgraded. Make sure it doesn't hit you. Pick it up, and let's see what we got. That one gave it an attack buff. So it was 32, and now it's 35, okay? Let's see if we can switch to the 5-shot bow.
That's the way it has to be.
Still 3-shot, same thing. I promise this isn't a lie. It really can happen. Okay, so there goes the bow. Let's pick it up and see what we got here. Same thing. You can see I had to move Octoroks. Okay, now that I have it back, let's check it again. All right, back to the boosting my attack power, but still not at the 5-shot bow. All right, here we are once more looking for the upgrade. So we're gonna get it thrown our way, and let's see if we got it this time. And we did not. It's still, okay, this one has a durability upgrade. Still not what we're looking for. So now we have the durability upgrade. Let's see what this one's gonna give us. He throws it, and let's find it, not lose our bow. There it is. Finally! Okay, you see, I wasn't lying. I picked it up, and now we have the ×5 32 Savage Lionel bow. So you can tell just from that quick cut, it's very difficult to get one of these. I exhausted all of those Octoroks on that path north of Death Mountain and ended up having to resort to just circling Death Mountain until I found more of them and continuing to try to upgrade this thing. And finally, I have one ×5 Savage Lionel bow. Now that you have one of those, I would recommend duplicating it. All right, that way you don't have to go through this whole process to get one again. Once you duplicate it, then you can use it for like the material duplication and turning 1 diamond into 5 diamonds and so on and so forth. So very, very, very good. I hope you guys enjoyed this guide. I know that it was a lot of information, but please, 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 if it was helpful in any way, even just a piece of it, throw a subscription my way. I would really, really appreciate it. I'm getting close to 500 subs, and I'm really trying to push up that climb. And so if you could help out, that would be great. And that's about it. That's all that I have for you today. So thank you for joining me on Ziki One Plays, and we'll be back again with more content really soon. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.